It's time for the insane, the honest, and the profane with your hosts, Brandon Combs.
Jed Hoyer has been a coward as a GM. He doesn't go out and he doesn't make the big splash signings. He doesn't spend the money in the right places. But then I don't let Craig Counsell off the hook because, yes, did he get put in a bad spot with this rotation by Jed Hoyer? Absolutely. But then you didn't put those guys that you did have in a position to succeed in the playoffs.
And Ryan Fitzgibbons.
I mean, if he's just as good as Justin Fields, it's probably the worst draft pick in the history of Bears football. It probably is. And one of the worst draft picks in the history of the NFL.
It's Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk, right here on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com.
And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs, along with my guy, Ryan Fitzgibbons. Fitzy, still haven't escaped that Iranian basement, huh?
No, I haven't. We're thinking of things. We're thinking of ways. We're in the brainstorming stage right now.
Yeah.
Once we get out of the brainstorming stage, I'll tell you. Maybe I'll change my sign to brainstorming.
You have to have a brain to storm, don't you? Or
maybe I'm storming my brain to find it.
It's got to be something.
But yeah. I mean, that's where we're at. We're still in a. You're going to come over next week. You're supposed to come over this week, but you got stuff to do. You got to go to a Home Depot, maybe Bed Bath & Beyond. You don't know if there'll be time.
We're going to put this on me, huh?
Actually, what you're doing is probably
okay,
a little bit more flaming than that, which is going to get your dog groomed.
No, I'm not going. Michelle and Aubrey are going. But they're leaving at noon. Like the appointment's at noon. We'll still be doing the show.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. No, I'm not going.
How is it going with the dogs? By the way,
they're awesome. Look, they're puppies. It's like having, canine infants.
A lot. Not sleeping a lot.
No, well, yeah. Michelle's not sleeping a lot. That's for sure.
What's the caca situation?
They're pretty good. They're pretty good about going out outside. I mean, the first couple of weeks was a little bit had to get them going, had to get them trained. But now, I mean, it's especially on these warm days, man. I just like yesterday, I was home alone with them all day. Michelle went out with her mom and Aubrey was working, so I was home with them. I left the back door open and was just like, I mean, it's 70 degrees outside. And yeah. I mean, they were in and out. They had a blast, but they were passed out by 7 o'clock last night. Michelle came home. She was like, "What happened to the dogs?" I was like, "They had fun. I mean, we went out in the yard. We threw the ball around, tried teaching them how to fetch and catch the ball and bring it back. And the one dog, Ivy, she would look at me after I threw it and be like, "You go get the damn thing. I'm not running after it." And then Winnie would go run after it and catch it and then just lay down with it and try to chew it. She wouldn't bring it back. So, it's a work in progress, but it's fun, man. They're fun. And they're cute. I mean, so that helps.
Yeah. It always does. That's what keeps you from killing them.
That's what keeps you from killing them for sure.
Yeah.
And they're crate trained too. So like at night, they go in their crate and they sleep, man. And the little one, Ivy, she's the only one that wakes up. We did a little experiment the other night where we let Winnie stay out of the cage because she's more of the calm one who doesn't really get up at night. And she slept through the night. Actually hopped up on the bed and slept at my feet all night. But Ivy still has to get up like 2 or 3 times a night to go to the bathroom. So, we're getting there, but it's slowly but surely getting there. It's been fun.
Yeah.
But, it's if I had to do it all over again, I would have waited till warmer weather. Complete warmer weather.
Yeah. Puppies, especially inside.
Yeah.
But maybe it'll be better next year. There'll be a little bit more.
Yeah. It's like moving. Like you don't want to move in the winter either, right? Like, cause it's just, it's cold, snow, sludge, like all this other stuff. So you try to do those things in the spring or in the summer, but we did what we did, and now we've got them running around, and we'll enjoy them in the summer. What's that?
Did Daddy get mad about that, or
Did I
Daddy
get
have a
mad
little
about it?
fit? Yeah. Did Daddy get a little fit? Have a little fit about it?
About what?
About getting the dogs in the winter. Like, what are we talking
No.
about
It
here?
was actually my idea.
This is their problem. You can't concentrate on anything for more than
It
5
was
minutes. Neither
it
can
was
I,
actually
but
my idea to get the dogs.
oh.
Yeah, I was like, hey, after we lost Pipe, it took a few weeks, and
Oh, Dad's got a big heart.
and then I was like, you know what? I said, because I knew if they had the chance. I mean, after the day after, they would have went and got another puppy, and I was like, I can't do it. Like, you gotta give me some time. And a couple weeks in, I saw some pictures of some pit bull puppies that were needed to be rescued, and I was like, all right, let's see what they got. We went to go take one, and now we have two. How long before the dogs have bad sports takes? It probably won't be long. Probably won't be long, especially if I'm training them. The dogs would not have to run back in the first round
Look at his
in these circumstances.
profile picture.
Did you play basketball at Eastern Illinois?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
That is. I look kind of like Tony Romo there, though, but not sure.
I mean, I guess like
Tony
what
Romo.
is that like an actual picture though?
No, it's not.
Or did he make that up?
No, he actually took his time.
He's got too much time on his hands.
He does. He's probably got like this like weird layer, where people usually like make bombs or like create the longer lasting light bulb. Instead, he is just pasting my face to different, profile pictures. The dogs might be better than Barry Sanders.
They might be. They're harder to catch, I'll tell you that much. When they get out in that yard, man, they want to run around. Again. They don't want to come back. I gotta.
There we go again.
Takes a long time. Doubting time. Like I don't understand. Like you have a wife, sir. Like how do you have this much time on your hands? Like, I mean, go cook dinner or something, Doubting Thomas. Take the trash out once in a while. Help your wife out instead of making these pictures.
Henry Dahmer can't. I was trying to think of that name when it might have been my junior year, maybe my sophomore year in college. Eastern Illinois went to the tournament. Not this year, though.
Henry Dahmer can't?
Dahmer can't. He's pretty good.
What the hell is that?
Guard. He played for Eastern Illinois in like 2002, 2003.
Probably why
he had a pretty good team. Yeah. They did not win a game in the tournament. Not like Illinois, which Illinois had a smooth path to the Sweet 16. Pretty damn smooth for what, 3 seed?
Yeah.
Especially once North Carolina's best player got hurt. I mean, although Illinois basketball probably back, can we say it's back now? Is it okay to say it's back? Do you want to start with basketball? We're here, so we might as well.
I mean, since you brought it up, I mean, I had Illinois losing to VCU in my bracket yesterday. I thought VCU was going to beat them. Illinois struggles with good guard play. VCU has some really fast guards, so I thought they were going to give them some trouble. But I mean, Illinois' size, they're just too big for VCU, and that was a real problem for them yesterday. My bracket yesterday, like I didn't lose anybody that I have going to the Elite Eight. But I lost a bunch of games that I had in the Sweet 16 yesterday. It was not good. I had Vanderbilt over Nebraska. I had VCU over Illinois.
VCU is 34% shooting. You think that was a problem? They shot the ball 8 more times than Illinois. Just did not make as many baskets.
It's just
It's the name of the game.
I mean, the VCU live guys by the 3 too. Like that's another problem. And if they have an off shooting night, then
forget about it.
Good night, But yeah, no, I mean, I didn't see Texas. I had Gonzaga over Texas. I definitely did not see Texas in the Sweet 16 coming out of this tournament.
Yeah, who did?
So I
mean, really? Go on.
I don't know. I know in the Final Four I have Duke versus Houston and Michigan versus Arizona. I mean, it's pretty chalky. 1 versus a 2 and a 1 versus a 1. But
look at you going out on a limb. Look at you taking chances.
It's it's sometimes not about chances. Sometimes it's just about being, right. Like you're filling out your bracket. I mean, I definitely took some chance. I had High Point. I had the High Point upset. And then I had Arkansas beating High Point. So I had those, and I have Arkansas all the way to the Elite Eight as well. So it's I do have some chance, but it's once you get to the Elite Eight, the problem with college basketball right now is like the top 10, 15, 20 teams are just so much further superior than the rest of the college basketball teams are. There's no, I was going to say the league, but I guess it's a league now. They pay their players. But you can't, like, when you get to those teams, like, those teams are just so much better. The 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, those seeds are just so much better than the other ones. Texas, taking Gonzaga. Gonzaga was one of the teams I thought could be had early. Same thing with UConn today. I think UCLA can really beat UConn. I think having Danny Hurley against Mick Cronin is going to be fun to watch on the sidelines. I'm waiting to see which coach erupts on the sidelines first in that game. It's going to be an audio guy's dream after that game today. But I think that there's quite a few surprises in this tournament, but it's a pretty chalky tournament. I mean, than it was last year too.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it's going to be right from now on. There isn't some team like Davidson isn't going to have Steph Curry. Memphis isn't going to have Derrick Rose. There isn't going to be those teams anymore. You're going to have to play a team game, and those institutions that can, get the most decent players, because a lot of the players that are really good usually have moved on by now.
I mean, and you'll get the cute stories like the High Points and like Sienna staying with Duke for most of that game in the first round. You'll get some of those cute stories in the first round and maybe even in the second round into the Sweet 16. But after the Sweet 16, man, it's all 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Like, I mean, it's just the way it's going to end up being. And every once in a while you'll get these rare, the Texas, the 11 seed Texas, or maybe if North Carolina or Duke are having a down year and they're a 9 seed or a 10 seed, you'll find them in the Sweet 16. But I mean, your Final Fours, I think for the very near future, if you pick anything other than 1s and 2s in your Final Four, you're probably going to miss.
You don't have Illinois going any farther.
I had VCU beating them yesterday.
So you can't have them.
Yeah. So look. This is a team. Illinois is a team that can surprise you. Can they beat Houston? Absolutely. Their size and the way that their pace of play matches Houston's. The thing about Houston is Houston's defense is so damn good. I mean, they've held opponents to under 60 points at least 15 times this year. So Houston's really good defensively, and they can shut you down. So if Illinois struggles to shoot the ball, it could be a long day for Illinois as well. But it's kind of just a race to 70 when you're playing Houston. And I think Illinois' offense is capable of doing that. I have Houston in my Final Four, so I think Houston's going to win this game. I would have picked them even if I had Illinois in that bracket over VCU anyway. I still would have picked Houston. And then I have Houston upsetting Florida. So I think this Houston defense is for real. Typically in the tournament, defense really starts to show its head. And I think that Houston can and probably will beat Illinois, but I wouldn't be shocked if Illinois were to advance.
No, I mean, they seem to have a pretty good team. Like you said, they have size. You just hope Houston shoots the ball like VCU does. 30-something% and go from there.
Yeah.
Doubting Thomas, I had no idea Illinois had so many white boys on the team.
They have all. If there is a person whose last name when you pronounce it ends with an itch,
Stojakovic, or
they have Stojakovic, they have Mitrovic, they have Androvic, they've got. I mean, if your last name ends with an itch and you live in Illinois, you're here. Vucevic, yeah, they've pretty much got everybody. They've got
European.
Peja Stojakovic's boys on their team, and they can shoot like their dad did. So it's that the team's good and they're well coached. I just I don't know why, but like over the last couple of years, like I have this thing where I just don't like Illinois. I don't like Illinois basketball. Not the state. The
Little too conservative.
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like the team.
I don't
can't
think
put
they
my
have a lot
finger
of
on it.
top end NBA talent or top end talent that you would say, is gonna jump you out of a gym or shoot you out of a
Yeah.
gym or have that athletic ability that's gonna get guys open, and they're gonna play conservative basketball where they're probably gonna have 50 to 60% shooting percentage. The state sucks too. I mean, are we talking politically? People in the state, I seem to like you. I wouldn't include in that, but
I don't blame you.
the rest of the people in the state.
I'm not be in the state for a long time though.
Yeah. Wow.
We'll see.
Gonna leave me. Gonna leave the Midwest.
Hey, we still have I mean, look, we've got StreamYard. We can still do the show. I'm not leaving the show.
I hate you.
I'm not. And it's not. I mean, there's nothing guaranteed. It's not guaranteed. But if something happens, we'll let the people at home know.
Very cryptic. Being very
what we're
cryptic.
talking about.
Let's wait. Yeah, but all in all, I think it's been a somewhat interesting tournament. It's just not the same. It's not the same as it was 15, 20 years ago when I'll bring up his name again, when Derrick Rose was playing his freshman year at Memphis with the greasy Calipari. Even before then, I mean, some of the tournaments used to be great. I mean, Patrick Ewing played in a tournament, 2 tournaments, 3 tournaments. Georgetown. I mean, you got a lot of great players. You got freaking Bird and Ewing, not Ewing, Magic Johnson playing. Just the history. There's just not that kind of talent that's in the tournament anymore, and not those kind of teams either.
Yeah.
Like the Michigan, the Fabulous Five. That there's no teams like that. Chris Webber did shave points in that game, in some of those games, so maybe they weren't as good as I remember them.
Yeah.
But calling a timeout late in that game and having a penalty shot, but we're not going to relitigate that right now, are we?
We have Bruce Weber on our show quite a bit. We're actually going to have him on again tomorrow.
Great basketball mind for sure.
Oh yeah, I love listening
too.
to him when the guys are talking to him, and I mean he's just so fun, and he's honest too, right? Like we have him and Tom Crean on quite a bit. And Tom Crean's another one who's just very honest, very smart basketball guy. And when we talked to both of them last week about the tournament, they agreed, like it's going to be chalky for a long time until the NCAA figures out this NIL thing. The NIL has gotten out of hand, and the NCAA has to figure something out about it. And until they do, these smaller schools, these teams that are having off years, like now Arkansas is a great story. They're playing good basketball right now. They're not a legit title contender. They're just not. They're a legit team to make it to the Elite Eight, but they're not a legit team to be a Final Four or a national champion because they're just not on that level. And a lot of that has to do with the NIL and the way that the NCAA has handled it. The NIL was meant for name, image, and likeness. It was meant for these guys to get paid off of their name, off of their, jersey sales, off of, video game proceeds, stuff like that. It was never meant. And I don't think anybody was ever for the schools being able to pay athletes and being able to bargain with athletes to come to their school. Like for a team, for players to be avoiding the NFL draft because they will make more money in college. That's crazy. And now you got guys who are looking for 6th and 7th years of eligibility.
I was thinking about that. I'm glad you brought that up. And I know this is going to sound a little crazy, and it was just a thought I had the other day. get rid of the NBA draft. I don't think you need an NBA draft anymore. I think you have a pretty hard salary cap in the NBA, or you make it,
just
you can make it
let
even
teams
harder.
bid.
And you let teams bid. Some teams, you're not going to have those mega teams anymore, which you kind of don't anymore. But how good were the playoffs this past year in the NBA? I mean, really great playoff. I don't think anybody
that's
argues
when guys
that.
start playing. You know what I mean? Like that's when
but still, I mean, it was still a good playoffs, and a lot of the talent was separated well on different teams. If you want to do that and you can even make the draft even more interesting that way, because how are these guys going to fit in the salary cap? Then you don't have guys, making $21 million in college and not wanting to come to have a contract for $10 million in the NBA or whatever the rookie contract is. Today, I was just thinking that the bad cities will always be bad, and Miami will win every year. I'm just saying, with a tough salary cap, and then you have to, and obviously you have, certain teams have to buy or have a salary cap, bottom floor too, just like you were saying in baseball. But the NBA draft, is it a spectacle anymore?
No, I mean, and I'm not
the
so
way
sure
it
it was
used to
ever a
be.
spectacle. I think the only draft that's really a spectacle is the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be more so. Especially after you had, Shaq getting drafted, Jordan draft. I guess it wasn't very big then, but people could see what you can do to a team in a draft.
Yeah.
I don't know how big it is anymore. And this way now there is even more suspense, I think. Like, what team is going to bid for who? And you got to make the basketball court bigger, I think. Nothing about the NBA
is watchable anymore. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, did you see the LeBron stuff?
I did not.
LeBron had surpassed the career points mark this year. And he requested from the NBA a patch to wear on his jersey. And now he has surpassed the games played mark and broken that record. And now he wants a patch of that on his jersey. So he's going to have 2 patches on his jersey celebrating himself. I don't know if you have a bigger, I don't even know. And to be honest with you, his numbers suggest that he's just a guy who's hanging on too long just to surpass some of these records.
Yeah, but a lot of guys have done that. I mean, even Kareem did it.
But did Kareem put a patch on his jersey to celebrate?
No, Kareem would never do something like that.
Jordan's jersey would have just been patches.
It would have been, but I almost want to say Jordan, because what the NBA was making before Jordan became Jordan, and what they were making, what NBA players and even refs and even ancillary figures on teams were making after Jordan. I mean, they owed him a lot after all that. But
Jeremiah, what is this? The fucking Boy Scouts? LeBron out there collecting merit badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Yeah, it's wild.
It's like
me.
Flair.
And the NBA to just, fall in line. I mean, this is and I blame all of the LeBronites. I blame all the followers who call him the greatest player of all time, which he's not. And I think the debate has been put to bed long ago. You've enabled this guy who is just going to keep playing. I think he's going to play with his grandson at some point. At some point, Bronny's going to have a child, and when that child reaches the league, LeBron's still going to be there.
I don't know. His legs have to fall off at some point.
You would think.
He still plays pretty good. I mean, it's not like you could say this guy is terrible. I mean, Kareem started losing it after a while.
I mean, he's pretty much lost it, I would say. I mean, he's nowhere near his normal numbers, right? Like LeBron is let's see, what is he averaging? He's averaging 21 5 and 6.
That's
So,
pretty
not
good. That's a
horrible.
pretty good NBA player.
It's pretty good for a guy who's 43. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to get out there? You almost got out there this last Bears season.
Yeah. I could strap him up. I could go.
Used you.
What's going on, Andrew? Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining the show. No, look, I just think that, when you put LeBron on the court and you start putting these patches, I mean, like
what patch? What are these patches for?
So the career points leader, because he surpassed Jordan in that finally after his 37th year in the league. And now he just passed was it Bill Russell or was it was somebody, one of those, I can't remember who the hell. Robert Parrish for games played with 1,612. So he's going to have a patch for that now too. Like, I don't know. Can we, I tell you what, let's give you a patch for every NBA finals you've lost. Let's give a patch for every playoff game 7 that you've disappeared from. Let's do that. I just can't. I can't with LeBron. Look, I think LeBron's a great human being. I see the stuff that LeBron does off the court. He's built schools. He's helped people. He's done those types of things. He's a good person. But on the court, like, I'm of the belief that LeBron ruined the NBA. He just did. His soft play, his need for rest, his flopping, everything that LeBron stands for on an NBA court, and he's great. He was great. But he just, the style of his play and the things that he brought to the NBA have just ruined the game. They have.
Maybe he could put the patches on his head to cover his hairline.
I don't think there's enough patches. It's insane to me. But
it's like
I think we're about to have the best day on the sports calendar year.
Woo!
The best day on the sports calendar year is about to be Thursday. God, you look so small when we go to this view. I can't, like... You just turned your mic off, stupid. Why do you look so tiny? What do you need a stripper pole there, or what's going on right now? I don't know what's going on. I think we lost Fitzy. Are you? I mean, I guess. Here, let me pan it back out, because at least this doesn't look as bad. I mean, it still looks pretty bad, but
and you can see my poster. Believe it, baby.
Yeah.
Believe it, ESPN.
Thursday, as I was getting to. Thursday is going to be the best sports day on the calendar year in 2026 in my mind, because not only do you have the Sweet 16 starting that day, you'll have 4 Sweet 16 games, 4 Sweet 16 games on Friday, but you also have Major League Baseball's opening day. Now, opening night is going to be Wednesday night, the 25th, and that's just which is weird, because normally it's the World Series champion that opens it up, but this time it's the Yankees and the Giants, and they're opening on Netflix. So that game will be aired on Netflix, and Barry Bonds is actually going to be on the pre and post game panel. So he's going to be working that game for Netflix, which I'm kind of upset that I will be in studio for this, because I love listening to Barry Bonds talk baseball. Then Thursday, you get all of the rest of opening day. The Cubs are opening up at Wrigley. It's going to be like, 75 degrees here yesterday and sunny. So naturally on Thursday, it's going to be 45 and rainy. So for opening day here at Wrigley against Washington, the weather is going to be something different. The White Sox are opening up in Milwaukee against the Brewers. Baseball's here, man. It's March 25th is opening night. March 26th opening day for all the rest of the teams. I got to tell you, it keeps getting earlier and earlier.
Yeah, I know.
At some
point,
like
they should shorten the season at this point, but
At some point, yeah, I think. Look, and I'm never about less baseball.
It's not a cold weather sport.
No, and that's the thing. Like, it's okay for like these teams that are playing in LA or San Francisco or in a dome,
or that have a dome.
Yeah, like that's okay. But I also understand the business aspect of, hey, just because I'm the Dodgers doesn't mean that I should have to host all the games in April and not be able to get any of the games in July, because in April all the kids are still in school. There's not a lot of people that go to games in April, but in July, families are going to games. So I understand the business aspect of it too. So at some point, I really do believe baseball has to look at the idea. And I don't know if players do it and I don't know if owners do it, because both of them would have to take less money. But cutting it down to like 140 games and let's start in late April, mid to late April.
They're not. No, they'll never do that. But 150. I mean, at some point, I always thought that was a good way to naturally incentivize teams to go to the playoffs, to spend a little bit more on their teams and go to the playoffs. It's 6 games both ways. Happy 45th.
It's your 45th birthday tomorrow.
Shut up, man.
I'm right behind you. My 45th is next Sunday. So I'm right behind you. It's not like I'm younger.
I feel great.
I'm like
even though I was sick yesterday,
younger, but still not that younger. It happened.
You look way older too.
Yeah, I definitely look way older for sure. Yeah. Way older and way rounder.
You didn't even try to make the argument.
No.
I would have taken the over on Combs.
Yeah.
Huh. Wonder if
says the guy who sits in his freaking basement trying to make pictures of his brother-in-law all week. Get out of here.
Anyway, how you feeling about the Cubs? Seiya Suzuki knocking him in. His knee wasn't that bad, but which is lucky, but looks like he's not going to make the opener. Might go on the injured list.
Yeah, look,
the Cubs. I think it's best to start with the Cubs.
Strained PCL. I've looked it up. I mean, most heal times are 6 to 12 weeks. I know that they're talking about him maybe coming back prior to that.
Why would you do that in April?
Yeah, why?
Maybe lose a whole season. Yeah,
and this is why I don't think that these guys belong in exhibition tournaments like the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah,
like I just don't. And I said that before. I said that before they went to. Before the tournament started, like this needs it, and I've said this for years. It needs to be collegiate players and amateurs, guys, or even guys. If you want to take minor leaguers, take minor leaguers. Like that's what this is for. And when you lose a guy like Seiya Suzuki, which is a big loss for this Cubs lineup. I mean, that bat is a big loss for the Cubs lineup. Though he hit 32 home runs last year. So now you're gonna see
arguably the best hitter on the team.
What's that?
Arguably the best hitter on the team.
Yeah, definitely the most consistent. But you'll see more of Moises Ballesteros. You'll see more of Matt Shaw going to get an opportunity in right field. You're going to see more of that. This Cubs lineup is good. I'm okay with the depth that they have in the lineup. They also got Michael Conforto, who is also going to break camp with the big league club.
Little left-handed power. Yeah. Your cheap Cody Bellinger.
Yeah. So I like the depth that they have. I'm concerned about the rotation. I watched Jameson Taillon all spring. His velocity's down, the break on his pitches is down, and he's given up bombs to you and me. Like, I mean, this guy cannot keep the ball inside of the ballpark. Luckily, he's going to be pitching at Wrigley Field in April, where it's going to be 40 degrees and cold, and the wind's going to be blowing in, so that might help him out a little bit. But I mean, at some point, you got to pitch on the road. At some point, you're going to pitch in warm weather. At some point, the weather here in Chicago is going to warm up. So I'm concerned about him. Shota So does hot or cold. Like, he's just one of those guys. I really wish that him and Tyon could just pitch at Wrigley Field only.
Yeah,
I
with
really
the wind
do.
blowing in. You don't want the wind blowing out with Imanaga. You don't want playoffs 2025 happening again. Basically a launching pad for the Milwaukee Brewers. That was your problem last year with the Cubs. I don't think you're going to have the same problem. I'm a little bit more optimistic. I think with the Cubs this year, Marcus Renard McCollum. I love Cubs and Fitz. We love
What's
you.
up, Marcus? What's going on, brother?
Thanks for listening.
Jeremiah says he could have gotten hurt just the same in spring training. I agree. But two things about spring training in the World Baseball Classic, and this is my argument for it, Jeremiah. And I had this argument with Pat Boyle last week. Same thing, because he's very adamant that major league players have to play in the World Baseball Classic for people to care about it. And then my argument was not even the United States players cared about the World Baseball Classic. But when you're in March, you're ramping up. Your bodies, the baseball players' bodies are ramping up in March. They're starting to stretch out. When you go to the World Baseball Classic, especially with teams like Japan and all of these Latin players, these Latin places that have teams like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, who won the tournament, they play, man. They play their asses off, and they go full bore. And they want to win this tournament, which is great. It's fun. It was fun to watch. I loved all of it. But these guys' bodies aren't usually there. And once every 3 years to try to make it go there, you're going to have more injuries. You're going
they're going all out. Even the U.S. players are going all out. I mean, you got Kyle Teal getting hurt. Kyle Teal with an exertion injury
that playing with Italy. So that was a country that cared about where they were at.
Yeah,
the U.S. players didn't care. The U.S. players were not going all out.
They almost won the championship.
They almost won the championship by not doing half of what you had. Aaron Judge had a 663 OPS.
You had Paul Skeens throw like 80 pitches in that.
Paul Skeens cared. I'm not saying none of the players cared.
I mean, he was throwing some junk up there. He wasn't throwing 100. He wasn't throwing what he'll be throwing in possibly July or even in May. But you
have Bryce Harper come out and say in the middle of the tournament, no offense to the World Baseball Classic, but this isn't the Olympics.
He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn door by that point. I mean, he does
the 8th inning of home running championship.
Yeah, until then, which it's like, oh, thanks for all the help there, Bryce. I guess if that wins the championship, or maybe we're talking a little different. Sale opted out, Crochet opted out, Scooble. I'm not surprised Sale did. I'm surprised Crochet, or I'm not surprised Sale or Scooble did. They have a lot more mileage on their arm. Crochet, I'm a little surprised there. I mean, he's got a smoother windup too. Sale arm still looks like it's gonna fly off into the catcher's mitt. Still gonna, and Scooble's got a lot of innings on his arm now. I wouldn't say a lot's probably wrong, but he's starting to get that medium range. Crochet, not a lot of innings on that arm, so he could have.
Yeah, but you know what?
Could have been the one time where
I don't want to hear that excuse, because there's guys with a lot of mileage on their arms pitching for Venezuela, pitching for Puerto Rico, pitching for Dominican Republic. You know why? Because they care.
You have Tarek Scoob on that team, you probably win. We
did our second episode of Going Yard yesterday, and we were talking about this. And my thing was, because the question got posed to me, how do you fix it? How do you fix the World Baseball Classic? The only team that needs to be fixed is Team USA. It's the only, because every other country cared. Every other country wants to be there. But the major league players, they don't. And then they talk about playing. Oh, we might move this tournament to the summer. Oh, good luck. Good luck telling Aaron Judge and all of these superstars, hey, I know you're in the middle of a pennant race, and we're gonna give everybody else 2 weeks off to go spend with their families. While you're gonna play more baseball. You know how many more players are gonna opt out of this tournament? You're gonna end up with what I said, which is collegiate players and amateurs.
And again, you have the problem. A lot of this problem is stemming from a season that is, I'm sorry, too long. And I love baseball. I would watch 162 games of the White Sox season. Maybe not the White Sox season 2 years ago, but of this season, I would watch 162 games if I had the time. I would. At least I probably wouldn't watch all of it. I am a father. I do have responsibilities, but I would watch if I, with the time, I'd probably watch every game. But at least a contraction of 12 games. Then maybe you have the time, the 2 weeks off in the middle of the season to play a World Baseball Classic. Are people not going to do it? It's the same argument you're bringing up. I don't know.
It's not just about there being more games, but it's about, hey, everybody else is getting 2 weeks off. Like what? And I'm gonna go and play. Like I don't. Scuba has $400 million staring him in the face. I don't blame him. He's a coward, Jeremiah. He's a coward.
Wow.
I mean, seriously. Then don't. I don't. If you want to opt out, like I don't have a problem with Chris Sale. I don't have a problem with Garrett Crochet opting out. But if you're gonna opt in, don't just be like, yeah, I'm gonna opt in, but I'll give you 40 or 50 pitches, and then I'm out. And then I'll come back and I'll sit with the team and go home. Go to Detroit and prepare for Detroit because that's what you wanted to do. But don't opt in. If you opt in to be a part of the team, you're part of the team.
You're on the roster.
You don't think that Tarek Skubal?
Yeah, it's hard for me not to agree with that.
And Tarek Skubal instead of Nolan McLean starting the World Baseball Classic Championship, how much cooler would that have been? If you would have gone into that tournament knowing that you had Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal for the semifinals and the finals, it's a much different ball game.
Yeah, you win that last game against Venezuela. That home run by Bryce Harper is the winner, and you win it. It's hard to say that you don't. I just love the way the guy pitches. It's hard to get mad at him, but I do agree. It's very hard for me to argue against that. Yeah, they got to find a better way, but I don't know of a better way. Baseball is just a different sport. I mean, you could obviously never do this in football.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But you can almost never do it in baseball.
Like when you say find a better way for who? Because it's only the American players that do this. All the other major leaguers that are playing in this tournament for other countries, they care. They wanted to be there. I was watching Vladimir Guerrero slide headfirst in a prelim game in a home plate to avoid a tag to go up 1-0 in the second inning. And they reacted. The whole team reacted like it was the game-winning run. Like those players care. It's only the American players that don't really care.
You're talking about a larger cultural issue where people, I don't know where people get off. You can have a problem with the government in this country. You can have a problem with some of the people in this country. You can have a problem with some of the things that happened socioeconomically in this country in the past. But don't tell me the founding of this country and the freedom it's brought to the world where there was no freedom for 20 centuries or at least 19 centuries in this world and say that you don't have pride for America. To play in a game like that. What you're talking about, what you're starting to scratch on is a cultural thing that goes beyond sports where somehow it's like, who cares about America? Who cares really about America and being patriotic at all?
Yeah. And it's also
because this happens in 2004.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of people playing in that game.
Well, we also like, if you have, when you're talking about cultural shifts, it starts at the lower levels of baseball, right? Like, because you go to a little league game in anywhere here in Chicago, right? And you go to a little league game and a kid hits a ball and he just crushes it. If he pimps that home run, he's getting yelled at by his parents and by the coach. You're not supposed to do that. That's not what we do. That's not good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, you're 9 years old and you hit a home run, you stand at home plate and you watch that damn thing till it lands, and then you walk the bases and you high five everybody that's on the field on your way around. Like it's a different culture. It's a different way of doing it. And I get it. I understand that. But at that point, then if you want guys to care, it can't be the guys in America who are making $40 to $50 million a year. You got some of them, like I think PCA cared. PCA had an OPS of over 1,000. His OPS was 500 points higher than Aaron Judge's.
Played well.
Yeah, Gunnar
Both
Henderson
Chicago
cared.
teams, players did well. Curtis
Paul
Meade did
Skeens
well.
cared.
Kyle Teal, we already talked about, did well. He was 4 for 6. Didn't play in some of the games because obviously got hurt. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the players that were from Chicago seemed to matter in this tournament.
And Paul Skeens pitched like he was the only time he's ever played on a good team in his life. He was so happy. Livy Dunn tweeted out a photo of him looking at Bobby Witt, and she said in that tweet, Paul Skeens looks at Bobby Witt. Oh, wait, no. Paul Skeens never looks at Livy Dunn the way he looks at Bobby Witt, is what she tweeted out.
Yeah. ladies, get a man who will look at you like Paul Skeens looks at Bobby Witt.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, those
that is love. That is love. That play Bobby Witt made.
Dude, he's amazing. He's another guy who cares. He's another guy I'd like to see on the field for Team USA again. But
he hits like he hits. He's
just
so an incredible player. I mean,
the Royals are going to be good this year too, man. They're going to be fun to watch. But
space between him and other shortstops.
Yeah. But getting back to the Cubs, man. My concern with the Cubs is just the rotation, the back end of the rotation.
And I was about to make a point before you went nuts on Tarek Skubal. In the last 3 or 4 years, and this is the Cubs' fault, and we've talked about it on this fake radio station many times.
We always call it a fake podcast. Why it's not a fake? It's a real podcast. We're real people. Mics are real.
Are we? Anyway, was innings pitched. We were always worried. We always had the Ben Browns, the Cade Hortons to worry about. Like, these guys were not guys that were going to pitch into the postseason. These guys were not the guys that were going to matter in September. And you were always worried about innings, and a GM wants to get, how are we going to get 700 innings? How are we going to get 600 innings with our starters? How are we going to do that? I don't think you have that trouble right now. You got a guy in Matt Boyd who's going to be your starter to start the season. He's doing the home opener, which I think is smart. You got a guy who has a rubber arm, is probably going to pitch you 150 to 200 innings this season. You're going to have guys to cover innings this season. You got Justin Steele coming back. Cade Horton should be able to pitch. You're hoping 180 innings, 200 innings this year. Cabrera, who you got to trade, he should be able to pitch 200 innings for you. These are all guys where you do not worry about their loads.
Yeah.
Where in other seasons with the Cubs, and they put themselves in this situation because they didn't trade or they didn't buy a pitcher, which I think they should have. We talked about it last year. They had no chance of winning the World Series last year because of their starting pitching. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. I think they can set it up well. I think they're going to win this division by some games where they can set up their pitching better. And I think they're going to have some pitchers who can actually throw strikeouts this week. Cabrera being one, hopefully Justin Steele being another. And you're going to have guys who are inning eaters. So you're not killing your bullpen till late in the season where your bullpen isn't working for you anymore. I think it lines up a lot better this season than it has in a while for the Cubs. And I think they're ready to make a run for it. I don't know. What I worry about is like I said last week, I worry about position players because pretty much no position players got hurt last year. That usually doesn't happen 2 years in a row. Just law averages comes back to bite you.
I think here's my problem with the Cubs rotation is I don't think that they did enough to shore up the back end of this bullpen. And sure, you can talk about, Justin Steele coming back and maybe Jackson Wiggins forms into something down at AAA that you can bring up in June and all of that stuff. But I mean, to me, you have still stuff out there that is still available, right? Like, I mean, there's still guys that are still unsigned that are options out there. And I don't know why the Cubs felt like they didn't need to shore up the back end of the rotation. Like when you go out and you get, you know, you go out and you get a guy who is still recovering from Tommy John surgery and won't even pitch for you this year, as opposed to going out and getting guys who are actually available to actually go out and do something this year. Like, you have an opportunity to win now. You are a team that is built to win now. Why you didn't go all in and you bargain shopped for your rotation is beyond me. I like the Edward Cabrera pickup. I really do. I think when you go Cade Horton, Edward Cabrera, and then maybe Justin Steele as your third, I think that's a really good top three. But behind them, I'm concerned. Like, I'm not banking on the fact that Matthew Boyd can continue doing what he did last year.
Yeah,
I'm not
he's
banking on
probably
the fact
not.
that Jameson Taillon or Shota Imanaga keep the ball in the ballpark on the road.
All you need is innings eaters there, though. Guys who could pitch you 500 ball and be innings eaters. And then you have your bullpen hopefully win you some games, and then you have those other starting pitchers have to be over at 500, which that's what you're paying them for.
Yeah, but now you're good. Now the pressure you're putting on your offense is every time that Shota Imanaga or Jameson Taillon take the mound, you feel like you have to score 10 that day.
No, you should not. You should not feel that way.
Why shouldn't you feel that way with these guys on the mound? The ball leaves the ballpark every other at bat.
Well, Imanaga does throw a lot of home runs.
Well, yeah, and you knew that when you got him because he was a fly ball pitcher in Japan. And luckily here at Wrigley, the wind's been blowing in a lot more than normal over the last couple of seasons, so it's helped him out a bit. But on the road, you could see it. When he pitched in Milwaukee in the playoffs, it made no sense. I didn't understand. Remember, I argued, why are you pitching Shota Imanaga here? It doesn't make sense. Why didn't you save him for Wrigley when you come back and it's 40 degrees at Wrigley in October with the wind blowing in, as opposed to pitching him in Milwaukee, and he gave up all those home runs and he got shelled. Like, you can't trust him to pitch on the road. So in those games, you do have to score a lot of runs. And Jameson Taillon in Arizona, I mean, dude, it was bad. Jameson Taillon's numbers in the spring, I'm pulling them up right now.
Would you have rather the Cubs gone after Mackenzie Gore, who went to the Rangers?
What?
Would you have rather the Cubs go after a guy like Mackenzie Gore, other than him going to the Rangers? Is that kind of where you're going with this? Mackenzie Gore just being one of the pitchers. Well, no, he ends up going to the Rangers, which the Rangers are very active again. Team that's not that far removed from the World Series themselves. Still a good team.
I would have been happier with a lot of these guys. I would have been happier even if you're trying to shore up the back end of the rotation and you went out and got somebody like Chris Bassett or Max Scherzer or some of those guys. Jameson Taillon this spring, I'm going to guess his ERA this spring.
Is it an important date in history?
I mean,
9?
17.5. I
think that's
17.5.
I think that's when George Washington became the head of the Continental Army.
He has pitched 13 innings
for the U.S.
13 innings. He's given up 26 hits and 10 home runs.
Ooh, boy. It's in Arizona. It's hot. High sky.
Yeah. What's it going to be in the
you're
summer?
Above sea level. You're above
What's it going to be in the summer? It's going to be warm. It's going to be hot.
Is it easy to hit home runs in Wrigley in the summer? I've heard good things.
It's not
that could be a problem. And Jameson Taillon has always been a player where one season he's good, one season he's really bad.
Yeah.
He's already had a bad season for you as a Cubs starter. So I get the worry, but you can fill those guys in at the trade deadline. You can fill those guys in for somebody you have. Maybe Ben Brown becomes that. You didn't have to, but you're not going to be perfect to start a season. I still think, and I agree.
It could have been.
I agree with Jeremiah. Any combination of Boyd, Taillon as your 4 and 5 isn't awful. I agree with that.
You're crazy. I just told you what Tyon is as a 5. Like I don't care. Like if you could have had so many other options out there that got paid. The Arizona pitcher whose name is gonna escape me now, that they could have had.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He got a 1-year, $22 million deal. Go pay him. You could have went out and you could have got Mackenzie Gore. Make that trade. Go get Mackenzie Gore. And now you have Edward Cabrera. If your starting rotation consists of Edward Cabrera, Cade Horton, and Mackenzie Gore as your top 3, and then Justin Steele as your 4, and Matthew Boyd as your 5, you're pretty damn close to perfect, aren't you?
Yeah, and when you see these other teams like the Rangers, like the Detroit Tigers, who already have good starting staffs, going out and getting another player, I can see how you can get frustrated there. But I think you're in a good spot with the Cubs, and I still think you do have some trade capital to trade at the deadline if you have to, for a starting pitcher. Maybe that's where this thing goes.
I think the Cubs are going to win the division. Don't get me wrong. I think the Cubs are still going to be good. I think they're going to win the NL Central. But I get frustrated as a fan when I watch this team bargain spend.
Yeah, I know.
When you could have just went out there and made no bones about it that it's you and the Dodgers and that's it. You had that opportunity and you didn't take it.
Yeah, I mean I would be more pissed off.
I hate you, Jeremiah.
I'd be more pissed off if you didn't get Bregman also this year. I'd be a little bit more pissed there, but this is something we've been harping on for a long time, and I've been leading this charge. I'm not as mad this year. I want to see how things play out. I think they did okay. Did they do great? No. And this is a Cubs team, and this is Jed Hoyer, who I don't think is ever. If you're waiting for great, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
I just don't think you're ever going to have a great off season or a great trade deadline where you're like, oh, here we go. You even have Cubs players knowing that. And that's why I thought it was weird that you extended Jed Hoyer. I really think you need a guy to make it to the next level, but let's see what happens this season. But you keep giving Jed Hoyer seasons and he keeps doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know if he did that yet. I'm teetering. I want to see how things play out.
I'm interested to see what he does at this trade deadline. If the Cubs are as good as we think they're going to be in the NL Central and they have a chance and people are talking about them as being the team to compete with the Dodgers, I'm interested to see what he does at the trade deadline to shore this up. Does he go out and get the number 1, whoever's available? Tarek Skubal might be available. Does he go out and make that big move? Because I don't think that Jed Hoyer has the balls to make that big move. Like he's got the balls to make moves that'll make you go, oh, I like that. I like that. I think that's interesting. Like Edward Cabrera. He's got the balls to go and do that. I don't think he's got the balls to go get Tarek Skubal or Mackenzie
Doesn't make him look smart either.
No.
Doesn't give him any flair. Doesn't give him any patches on his uniform. To get a guy like that, he's got to find a diamond in the rough. Which
he's got the same receding hairline though.
That's not this job. Yeah. That's not this job. This is not the job where you need to go out and find. Yeah, is it good to find diamond in the roughs? Yeah, every team has to do it, even the Dodgers. And the Dodgers find a lot of them, by the way. The Dodgers have an embarrassment of riches because they also have a good farm system too.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers even have to do it, but you don't have to do that for every position here. You don't have to look smart at every single position here. Look what we did. We found Cade Horton. Look what we did. We found Pete Crow. I don't even know if Pete Crow is a Jed Hoyer acquisition, but whatever.
He is.
Okay. Yeah. But you're not going to be able to do that at every position. And you don't have to here. Maybe some of it is making the right argument to Ricketts.
Yeah. I mean, look, PCA is probably Jed Hoyer's biggest moment, right? Because that's who he got in return for Javier Baez in the Javier Baez deal. So probably his best acquisition out of all of them. Cade Horton is fantastic. But when you look at the farm system, the Cubs only have one pitcher in their top 12 prospects. I mean,
that's a problem the Cubs have had.
Well, yeah,
for over 10 years.
Well, no, not necessarily, because they didn't have that problem when they had when why can't they, when Theo was running the organization, because you had Justin Steele in the minors. You had Cade Horton is a Theo guy. You had
yeah, but I'm talking back when they won after the World Series too. They had to go out and get Jake Arrieta. They had to go out and get who's the left.
Yeah, they made those moves because they had to rebuild the system.
They had to go and get but no, he had made that was part of his plan. We are going to draft and try to get position players in here, and we're going to pay for pitching.
That was kind of you had Kyle Hendricks who came up. I mean, he was homegrown. You had
but we're going kind of far back for Kyle Hendricks.
Well, it's 2016, 2015, 2016, 2015. I think was Kyle Hendricks' first season.
I believe you.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it might have been 2014, but it's somewhere in that time frame.
It's one pitcher. You're naming one pitcher. The Cubs have had this issue for a while where they don't have a lot of starting pitching in their farm system. They've had this issue for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, they've had some guys that have come up. I mean, Ben Brown was another one, but I mean, he didn't really amount to much. You still got Jackson Wiggins down in the minor leagues. Porter Hodge, Daniel Palencia, a lot of relief pitchers. Adbert Alzolay.
Porter Hodge. You made that name up. It's not a real person.
Last year.
It's not a real person.
It's just one of those things where, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's been a problem for quite a bit, but I don't know why it continues to be a problem. That's what I have. But then it's fine if you're going to build all of your talent and your position players, fine. But then you actually have to spend the money for pitching then I have an even bigger problem. If you're going to tell me that's your plan and your biggest acquisition is a trade for Edward Cabrera because he doesn't make very much money, and you're going to bypass Mackenzie Gore, and you're not going to go out and you're not going to trade for a Tarek Skubal, then what are we doing? Because in October, that's what plays. Pitching plays.
I agree, but
I agree, but I don't want to.
I just feel like you're kind of late to the party. I wanted more of this conversation last year, and I don't feel like I got it from you.
We had this conversation last year.
Just wait till the Sox draft Rock. We'll show you how you draft talent.
Dude, Rock looks solid. Yeah. Rock Kalowski is a stud. I don't know where you're going to play him because he's a shortstop. Maybe he can move over to third, do whatever. But
I think you move Montgomery over to third when that happens. I think Montgomery goes over to third. He's giant. He probably shouldn't be a shortstop, even though he plays pretty well at shortstop.
Yeah,
I don't think you worry about that. Shortstop can play almost any spot on the field. A shortstop can play.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about that. Guy's got an arm. He can play right field if he's not as good a defensive shortstop. You let that sort out. I mean, he could play pretty much anywhere, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what that means, but
I figured you and him are on the same wavelength. Surprised you guys made it through the show without talking the women's NCAA tournament. ESPN has had it on the homepage above the men's coverage.
Yeah.
Well, it's because ESPN carries the games.
Yeah.
God, so they have to. How do you feel about the White Sox this year? What are we talking? 70, 75?
This is, yeah. I mean, the White Sox, yes. I mean, 70, 75, and it's an absolute, like, I mean, I don't see any other way than saying it's a complete success. And you get the first pick in the draft, which we just talked about, and you have all these players coming up. You got Braden Montgomery, you got player. This is the part where your team starts to get interesting, where you either want a team like the Cubs, who are going to be contending, I think, for a World Series, or you have a team like this where you have a lot of these young guys that are in their second year, and then you have guys coming behind them. And you start like making ideas like, what else do we need as a team? Which pitching prospect is better than the other? It can also go the White Sox way. It can also go completely terribly. We could be, halfway through the season like this.
Hello, Tribe fans. Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of. Paid attendance today is 1,412. Some of them were driven away by a little 10-run first inning the Red Sox put up. Take over, Monty. I'm in the bag.
Rest in peace.
You lied to me.
You said your finger was a gun.
You said your finger was a gun.
Yeah. I mean, it could go really bad. Yes. Can it? Yeah. I mean, there's always that potential, especially with young players. Colson Montgomery didn't have a very good spring training, but he's a guy that's going to be almost a 3 outcome hitter, where it's a strikeout, it's a home run, it's a walk. I don't think that he's going to hit for a high average. So it's going to be very, very volatile. Looking at 30 games for Colson Montgomery, I don't think it's going to be the best way to rate him. You're going to have to rate him on a year. He's going to hit home runs in bunches, things like that. I just think there's no way you can't be excited about this team coming into the season. Is Murakami going to be the player he was in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he going to be because if he's even part of that, if he hits 25, 30 home runs from the left side of the plate, you're going to be all right, I think, because then you got Colson Montgomery on the left side of the plate. I mean, you're going to be doing okay. You got Kyle Teal when he comes. You got Kyle Teal when he comes back, which looks like he won't be out that long. At least you hope. I mean, Eddie Caro had a great spring training, maybe the best spring training you could think. I think the guy's going to be a lot better than people are saying. A switch hitting catcher. Come on.
Yeah.
And then you got Sam Antonacci, who played well for Team Italy, played well in the minor leagues, who came out of nowhere. You might have him in left field. Like I said, Braden Montgomery, who's going to be coming up behind him. You got guys like Noah Schultz in the minors and pitching. You got Drew Thorpe coming back from Tommy John. He puts a couple miles an hour on his fastball. That could be pretty interesting because he's more of a location pitcher. I mean, there is a lot of interesting things that can happen this season. And like I said, this is another place you want your baseball team in. You don't want an aging baseball team. You don't want what the Cubs had a couple years ago, where they're just a 500 team. That's a really bad place to be in because you watch a whole season only for them to not make the playoffs. You want your team exactly where they are right now, or obviously contending for a World Series and still being young. But like just a blossoming team where you're watching a new player every day and being like, oh, he can do that.
Yeah, he can do that. Look, I like this White Sox team too. Young and talented. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're going to find a way to win this division. I think Detroit and Kansas City are probably the two teams that are heads and tails above everybody else. I think Cleveland lost quite a bit this offseason, but they always find a way to be good. And Minnesota is Minnesota. I never know what's going to happen with Minnesota. They could be really good or really bad. So I think that this team's going to be good. They're going to be fun to watch. They're not going to be great. They're not going to be a playoff team. But 70 to 75 wins is I think, doable for this team that won, 60 last year?
60 games last year. Jeremiah, since John, my brother, isn't watching the show today, Jeremiah is going to take the spot of John. The spot of John Fitzgibbons will be taken by Jeremiah Murray this year, I guess. Closer to 83 to 85 wins. That's close to the playoffs, or Yikes. Could be a playoff team. It's time for the upswing. very hard for me to agree with that 23 or 25 game swing. Is it possible?
I can't get
Yeah.
there.
I think the Sox are going to have the same problem as I was talking about the Cubs that the Cubs have had in recent years, where they're just not going to have the innings. They just do not have the innings to pitch. You might get like a Pittsburgh Pirates, month or two in the beginning of the season where they're a little above 500, maybe even leading the division for a little while, and then they just collapse.
I like Will Venable too.
Yeah, I mean, he's hard not to like. A lot of things about this team and about how they scout players are, the only thing you kind of don't like is the GM and when he opens his mouth. But Will Venable, everything. I mean, you can kind of see that people respect him. Tight t-shirts are good. Look for Riot 45.
I mean, let me ask you a question about that.
This is a large t-shirt. I don't know what to tell you.
At 45, is having your sister telling you tight t-shirts are a good look for you a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, since she's almost definitely being sarcastic, it's a bad thing. But I feel good.
Hey, that's all that matters. It's
all that matters. Over an illness, even playing a little hurt today.
Age is nothing but a number, my friend.
Exactly.
It's about how old or how young you feel. And every morning when I wake up, I'm about 73. All right, brother. You ready to get the hell out of here?
Yeah.
I know you got some stuff to go do
next time, but
even though you blamed me, we'll let you keep blaming me.
I blame you for everything. I blame you for the USA team losing in the World Baseball Classic, which I watched late into the night. They tie it up and then they blow it. I was in studio for the game. Happy and then not so much. But all right, we will be back next week with actual baseball to talk about. Let's go.
Actual games. Season starts on Thursday. Well, season really starts on Wednesday night, but season for us, Cubs and White Sox fans, starts on Thursday.
Combs raised gas prices.
I mean, you can blame me for that too. I mean, people always tend to blame the wrong person for that. We'll be back with real baseball to talk about. We'll talk about the NCAA tournament as well next week. Till next time, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. Peace.